I say they're in crisis right now, and I think that hasn't changed. And the unfortunate part of that is that they did not move quickly enough initially to deal with it. So they're getting a lot of criticism inundated on them from the public, from parents, I know from alumni, which we've been hearing. So I would say they're on life support.
That scathing statement from a member of one of Canada's leading crisis management communication firms, following mounting disturbing allegations at St. Michael's College School. Tonight on City News, we're looking into how much tuition and donations bring in for the private school when it comes to revenue. We'll also hear from multiple alumni. First, St. Michael's alumnus Mark Teo about how he feels the recent turmoil here could impact future enrollment and the historic institution's future.
When parents send their kids to places like St. Mike's, they expect a certain level of safety. They expect to be sending them to a safe environment. And I think that is, rightly or wrongly, part of the appeal for parents of sending their kids to private school. If the school can't prove that it's offering a safe space and a healthy culture, then that's one more reason to send your kids somewhere else. So I think it has to be a really big concern for the school.
The latest annual report shows St. Michael's received more than $19 million in tuition and fees and another $750,000 in cash from fundraising and donations in 2016-2017, with total revenue topping out at $25 million. The school has been registered as a charitable organization since 1967, and tax documents filed with the Government of Canada shows they actually brought in nearly $5 million in donations last year. It's been well documented that the school's now former principal never called police to inform them about an alleged sexual assault. 2 days after the school learned of the incident, police arrived after receiving calls from the media. City News has learned it took just a few hours after that for an email to go out to families who are considering sending their children to the school. You hear that, what goes through your mind?
Oh, God. Well, I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. Wondering how I think that is probably going to impact their enrollment.
St. Michael's communication staff politely declined a request for an interview today. We also reached out to St. Mike's COO Greg Hook for comment. He did not return our email. However, in the 2017 annual report, Hook writes the school recognizes how competitive the private school market has become. He goes on to say that plans are in the works for an additional 30,000 square feet of curriculum space, a new arena, a new gymnasium, and a tennis court complex. The new build will also incorporate a new stadium and change room complex for the field. This week, the school's president and principal stepped aside. Kyle Fraser, who went to St. Mike's under the current faculty, believes more changes are needed.
To hear that the vice principals have been put in a position of interim co-principal is very disturbing.
Why would you say that they're part of the problem?
They have known about this culture that has gone on at the school for a long time, and they've been there for many years, and they've also swept it under the rug.
Why do you believe that?
I believe that because I've had interactions with them when I was there, and they weren't positive, to say the least.
In these scenarios, what people are looking for, not to be too crass, is they want, you want to head on a spike. You want someone to heads to roll and people to get in trouble and say this is wrong and this is why this happened and this is how we're fixing it. So they started the first process, which is individuals have said, I'm taking responsibility, we're stepping aside. The next piece of this process is usually like we need an investigation, not just police, but internal about the culture, which they're doing. But that needs to go quickly, right? And then you have to have new leadership in place to implement that. So whether that's a holistic change of everything or just a few key people, but that is absolutely, I think, intrinsic to the reputation recovery, which is what they're going to have to get into.
According to their annual report, enrollment at St. Michael's remains steady over the last 2 years. Alumnus Kyle Fraser says he hopes the school is successful in the years ahead, but not at the cost of its students.